to the Walking in Aloha Let's Talk Story podcast. And I just missed it by minutes coming into the 11 o'clock hour. And I said that I was going to come in the 11 o'clock hour, 11 o'clock, or within that time. And I have been late. But this is just minutes after the 11 o'clock hour. It is 12:01 p.m. here in Hawaii right now. So let's carry on. We are on day 12 of 90. This is the 90-day jumpstart to 2026 Aloha Always Challenge. And so I am coming in every day for the next 90 days to bring you a challenge daily. I'm going through it, so I'm sharing it with you. The theme for the week is leadership and love. So if you haven't been following me, the Aloha Always framework is the gift that God gave me through my book, Walking in Aloha 5 Steps to Living Your God Potential Life. It is an award winning book, International Impact Book Award. So I now share it with the world through my speaking, through my coaching, and it has touched so many people's lives. It has gone through speakers, other speakers, and they have shared how the Aloha Always framework works in their lives also. And it's so amazing. So, last in our first week of this Jumpstart Challenge, we looked at the affirmations and actions. This week's focus is on leadership and love. So the theme of the week is leadership and love. We're on day 12. Got you guys all caught up. Sorry about that. Really quick run through. But you can actually go back and look at the YouTube videos. It's on live, and it is also on my LinkedIn. It's on Facebook Live. I do upload to Spotify and all of that. Other podcast platforms as soon as I can. Facebook does drop out after I don't know how many days, but it does rotate out. But if you'd like to catch up, it is there for you. Today, acute awareness. So the focus, leading with wisdom and discernment. The scripture for today is James 1:5. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives all liberally. He will give it all liberally. Affirmation is I am aware of God's guidance in every decision I make. So, your action step for today is take 10 minutes of quiet time to listen, not speak, and journal what God is impressing upon your heart. Awareness is the foundation of wise leadership. Let me tell you a quick one. Uh, when I was going through the domestic violence and all of that, the confusion and the everything that I was going through, I was not aware of the damage that it was doing. I was not aware of what it truly was until I was out, until I was getting the help and healing that I needed. And then, only then, did I realize what the situation was really at. The words to use. I didn't know it. I wasn't aware of it. Like narcissists. I didn't even know what a narcissist was until I was out, until I was getting the help that I needed, until I was in a circle of other people who have healed from it, who have worked through it, and they were talking about the same things. And there I was like, that sounds so much like what I was going through, and that's how he was. And they were like, because you were with a narcissist. And I was like, I didn't even know. So the awareness, right? And that's one thing I had to become. As I was healing, I had to become aware of what I was, not just putting all the blame and putting all the things on other people and what happened, but knowing that I needed to take a lot of it onto myself and be aware of where it was inside of me. All of that trauma, all of that pain, I held on to, and it became physical weight, right? So I was putting on the weight because I was holding on to the pain. Now, when I decided that that was enough, enough is enough, and I needed the healing, and I released a lot of that, I released a lot of the pain, released a lot of the bitterness that I was carrying, I released a lot of the weight. The weight came off with the pain. And I had to be aware of the fact that I was being lied to in order for me to move out, to move forward, like you have to be aware with what is going on in you and around you. Awareness is the foundation of wise leadership. If I did not become aware of my situation and lead myself out with love for myself, I would not have been able to escape the way I did. So, yeah, if you've never read my book, please pick it up. Walking in Aloha, 5 Steps to Living Your God Potential Life. It is, like I said, my first book. I wrote a second book after that, 31 Steps to Mastery. And I have a goal of writing a book every year. So 2023, 2024, and 2025, I am coming out with a new book. But this one is not going to be just me. It's going to be voices of Aloha, which I ask other people to share their story, in one anthology, so that when someone picks it up and reads it, my story may resonate with one person, but not another. Maybe the story that they're praying for, the story that they're hoping for is not mine, it's yours. And that is why I'm asking for people to put their story in the Voices of Aloha. There'll be 2 books, one for women and one for men. Voices of Aloha, Daughters of the King, and Voices of Aloha, Mighty Men of God, because I know the importance of bringing forth one that is for solely and individually for the women, and then solely and individually for the men. But I know that within all of us, there is a story. And I just want everyone to know that it may seem difficult for you to tell your story, to tell your testimony, but there is power in your voice, there is power in your testimony. And when you speak from your your healed scars, not from your open wounds, there is so much healing when you can show people that there is hope, when you can show people that this is what I've walked through, I know how to get from point A to point B, and I can shorten that gap for you. That is all the more power that you can give to someone else. And so that's why I say your voice is your superpower. When I was in that violent situation, when I was in that domestic violence, silence felt safer, but it was not. Silence was a prison. And sometimes I would write it out, and I would just write a gilded cage. That's what I felt like I was in. I was in a gilded cage. Things looked nice from the outside, but I was still imprisoned. People didn't realize because, like I said, he was good at being bad. And no one knew the difference because of his narcissistic talent. So, yeah, the acute awareness. Be aware at what is going on in you and around you, and lead with wise leadership. Awareness is the foundation of that wise leadership. So until tomorrow, everyone, I will be coming back on day 13. The focus is influence through integrity. I thank you guys for coming on every day. And I know that we are just a smidge in there, just a tiny bit, but you can do it. I know I can do it. And I just want to stay accountable because, yeah, like I said, this is all about all five of the pillars in the Aloha Always framework, all five. So the affirmations and actions, leadership and love, overcoming obstacles, health and healing, and acute awareness. And this is a daily. So I am doing everything to become healthier every day. I actually moved my rebounder. If you don't know what a rebounder is, it's a bouncy thing that has the handle because I still use a cane to work. I still can't really walk. I have the handicap thing on my car. Um, Actually, I'm going for an MRI on my leg again on Saturday because the outside part of the prosthetic, I have a hip replacement. If you guys haven't been following me, I have a hip replacement, but it's not just a normal hip replacement. It actually goes down further into my femur. Um, so it's long. And actually, they lengthened my leg. It was 2.25 inches shorter, and now both legs are the almost the same length. They didn't do it exactly because then for some reason my body wouldn't feel correct. It would feel incorrect, but it's measured out just a tiny bit shorter. And anyway, it's um, the prosthetic is longer in my leg, and so it has more fake in there than real bone, to say the least, right? And the muscle is not attaching to the prosthetic like it's supposed to. So my leg feels really weak and things like that. And I'm trying to build the muscle around it. You know, I pray to God that miracles can happen, and I trust and I believe. So whatever happens, the Lord can do what He will with my leg. I let it go. But I still do what I can in my own, which is exercising and things. But anyway, I use a rebounder now. I moved the rebounder from upstairs down here into the garage. So while I'm doing my studies, while I'm doing my um, kingdom builders, and when I'm doing my international ministry work and all of that, while I'm doing my studies on speaking and my writing and everything else besides going to work full time, I get on the rebounder and, bounce in it, and the lymphatic fluids move in. Yes. Anyway, so health wise, but to stay accountable, this past weekend there was a 4 day of Tony Robbins, and I was on this computer for so long from morning to the time I had to like leave for work, and I try to squeeze things in, so I was late getting on. Anyway, I do what I can to do what I can, and sometimes, not sometimes, but a lot of times it is super hard, but I still do it. I still do it because I know I have a calling. I know I have a calling, and I will do what I can to fulfill that calling and to excel, because I want to be the speaker that God called me to be. And I want to be able to build my business as a speaker and leave that legacy for my kids and grandkids because of my speaking business. But anyway, I didn't jump on the scale. I didn't weigh myself. And so I was 195 when I started this whole thing. I dropped down, I think it went to 190.2. And I was afraid to get on the scale again this morning because I was like, oh no, I didn't even weigh myself during this whole time. And I know I've been sitting here and I've been eating stuff that I'm not supposed to. Sometimes I eat to just stay awake. And yes, there's a bag of chips because I was so tired. I just needed something to snack on just to stay awake the other night. And anyway, I got on the scale and I was so afraid. But it was 190.4. Okay, so I didn't gain hardly any weight, just the 2 ounces or something like that. It was 190.2 and it's now 190.4. So I'm okay, I'm all right, but still I wanted to see a consistent drop in the weight, not even a blip higher. But anyway, that is what it is. But I really have to go. Hubby has to go to work and I am not even changed. So gotta go until tomorrow, guys. A hui ho, and God's blessings always.